Hello. Welcome to day 5 of Reinvent Your Impact, where I share advice and actionable skills every morning to help you become a better, more confident woman in leadership. I'm Dr. Geneva, leadership expert, and I believe with the right mindset and skills, any woman can positively influence communities, the teams and people they work with, and the causes they care about, as well as doing some good stuff for themselves. And you don't need a fancy title to lead change. Whether you run a company or a club, you coach um, your kids' soccer team or baseball team, whether you organize volunteers or lead at church or in your family, you can grow and share your gifts, and you can do this. My goal is to give the tools to turn that influence that you have into greater impact, to make the choices that you need to make, those ethical decisions, to encourage others' talents, and to create needed progress on issues big and small from where you stand. When women lead confidently from their strengths, families, organizations, and communities thrive. Yes, they do. So, listen, today's 15-minute lesson is about moving beyond one's comfort zone to tap into purposeful potential. Now, all week we've been talking about rediscovering your purpose. And we all know how important it is to understand the meaning in life for us. And so today, I want to talk about how you can unlock that potential, that purpose that's there. And when we talk about unlocking potential, finding purpose, it means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable to activate that potential. And that's something we just have to face. That's what it is. That's what it's about. And so this comfort zone that we always hear people talking about is really that snug psychological place space containing all the life activities that really feel familiar to you and safe and easily within your control and capability. When we stretch beyond that mental and emotional boundary, is when we step into that fresh potential for growth and outside of the comfort zone. So, we each have this invisible comfort potential, perimeter. I mean, that's what I mean. This line around us, this fence around us, and the edge of the task and intersections and adventures that seem second nature to us versus now, those things that are comfortable and familiar to us versus those things that trigger risk, or the things we might think trigger risk, and we're adverse to them. So you understand what I'm saying? So this circle we have around, inside of it are where we're comfortable. There's things that we do, uh, things that we believe, activities that we take that we feel familiar with and comfortable with. Outside of that are those activities that trigger concern. And pushing past that self-creative fence and trying the unfamiliar is really that ticket to self-actualization and growth. And so that's why I wanted to talk about stepping outside that comfort zone. Now, let me just say straight up, I ain't talking about taking crazy, wild risks or being foolish, but rather leaning in to the growth possibilities that you have so that you can share your gifts, fully, and we can reinvent our influence potential beyond those self imposed limits by embracing this discomfort and stepping outside of the comfort zone. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So let's look at the quote that I wanted to share with you today. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And Neil Donald Walsh shared that with us. Okay. And that's what I want to talk about. And good morning, Sean. Oh, how are you? And how is it in Spain? I am so delighted to see you this morning. And if you're here live or even on the replay, come on, say hello and join the conversation. So, the quote that what Walsh is saying suggests that fulfilling our purpose does require courageously stepping into unfamiliar growth territory beyond the places that feel safe and certain. I just finished talking about describing what a comfort zone is. So what Walsh is suggesting is that beyond that fence, beyond that perimeter is where really the excitement is, the potential is, our purpose is. Okay. So let's look at that from three ways. One, if we for a moment agree that outside of that perimeter of comfort is where life is and purpose is and growth happens, it's important for us to define, well, what are our zones of comfort versus growth? So we got to know, we got to really think about what's inside and what's potentially outside in order for us to make any moves. Okay. So one of the things that's important is for you to identify the edge of your capabilities, those things that you still haven't explored. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, try to find one or two activities that seem scary, but could magnify your talents or fulfill dreams that you've always had. Like perhaps you've always wanted to teach a class or write a book or start a podcast. So let's say, that these were dreams that you have, and let's say you're a great communicator and you know a lot about the industry that you're in. And I see that Sean is telling me he's doing great, but he resigned from his job. And Sean, we're going to have to talk. Okay, I want to find out what happened, but I want to take Sean. I'm, I appreciate you sharing that with me because as I think about all the experience and expertise you have in teaching, and you're an extraordinary educator. Sean could be someone who could step outside his comfort zone. He's an excellent communicator. He knows education. He could start a podcast. Okay. So, in other words, we can find these things that we can do that maybe we haven't done before, might be a little scary, but anyway, we step out and do it. And we use, if you started a podcast or wrote a book, you'd be writing about or talking about something that you in fact do know, and you're expanding your talents. But the point is, the first thing that's important for you to do is to define, well, what's comfortable for you and what things are outside of that perimeter. The second um, point that I'd like to make as we think about uh, Walsh's words to us as suggestions that life begins at the end of our comfort zone is that so it's important to set a bold vision that aligns with our purpose. And so, again, this helps us step out of that comfort zone because what we're saying is that this is what I want to achieve in life. This is the vision. This is the purpose that I see that I have. And so deciding to align that vision with your purpose and stepping outside of that comfort zone is so critical. We talked earlier in an earlier lesson, and if you've missed any of the lessons, please, they're right here on my channel. And while you're looking for those lessons, please subscribe, but you can catch up on those lessons. And one of them, I talked about you developing an aspirational leadership purpose statement. Okay, so you're going to write that down in your journal, and so that you have that. And so that's the point of looking at that bold vision that you have, the statement that you have of your purpose, and envisioning doing things that spur that purpose, that you could spearhead at your workplace, let's say, maybe taking on some new initiatives that align with your purpose and your values. So it's important in order to put um, that vision, that purpose into action, that you align and you go ahead and do it. Okay. And then the third thing that I'd like and want to invite you to think about as we contemplate Walsh's words about life really starting, beginning, growth when you step outside that perimeter, is that it's very important for you to make commitments to realize that potential that you have. In other words, making promises to yourself to um, back your vision and the ideas and the plans that you have. So you make those commitments. So what I want you to do is tell 3 friends. Now I want them to be friends that are going to support you. Okay. But 3 friends about something that you're going to boldly do. Okay. So let's say that you've always wanted to be a great public speaker. So tell 3 people about your plans, about your vision, so that this will help you because they'll help you be accountable. So when you tell them that, I remember when I was working with my dad to write this book about his civil rights work and how he changed the course of history in terms of housing discrimination in New Jersey by his Supreme Court case that he won. And I was dragging my feet. I really was. But, I really wanted to do it, but I was dragging my feet. And some of it was, I was a little scared about what I was doing because this was a book about, someone who was larger than life to me. But what he did, I was raised in a small town on New Jersey. He went and he told everybody in the community, oh, Gigi's writing a book. That's my nickname. Oh, Gigi's writing a book about me. So when I thought I'd come and I'd visit, and everyone that I ran into said, oh, can't wait to read that book. Make sure you let me know when that book comes out. Will you have a book signing? Everywhere I went. So by him telling, what was going to happen, how this thing was going to come about, and telling everybody, it helped me be more accountable and pushed me really to step out my comfort zone and go on and finish that thing. And you can find it on Amazon if you want. Justice on the Jersey Shore. I'm so proud of it. But anyway, the point is that when you tell other people about what your aspirations are or how you want to step outside that comfort zone, it helps you be accountable. So those are the lessons I wanted lesson and the points that I wanted to make today about unlocking your potential, stepping outside of your comfort zone. And let me know what struck you most about today's session. Leave me a comment. Please subscribe. Would love to hear from you. How do you stretch beyond things that are familiar? Get an accountability partner. That's the call to action I want you to do. Get an accountability partner that can help reinforce the commitments that you've made to step on out of that comfort zone. Love you all. Remember, I'll see you next week, every morning. But remember, be the leader only you can be. See you soon.